sec, guys. That's better. Yeah, I hope everyone's doing all right. This is like a second part, I guess you could say. Doing a part 2. Buh. To anyone new to the stream, my name's Ed. I'm a professional freelance illustrator. And I specialize in caricatures. So I think, not having any background music is probably the best way for me to go forward. I don't think I need necessarily any other distractions. And that's kind of how I like it in general, Because I tend to work best in silence as it is. The only notable exception is this one's running a bit low. So what I do when a pen is sort of on its last legs is I get a shot glass, in this case, a collector's edition Spawn shot glass. This one's nearly 30 years old. I got this back in 1997, so yeah, I've had that for a while now. Spawn was pretty big back in the day. So what I do is I just get some isopropyl. So this is perfect for like cleaning stuff. It's really strong, really good cleaning alcohol. But I use it with these particular pens because they extend their life just a little bit. So like it kind of acts a little bit like it waters down the ink, but it gives the pens just enough juice to keep going just a teeny bit longer. Like the colors obviously won't be nearly as dense, but you don't really need, because when you're working in Grayscale, you're essentially doing everything in tones anyway, so that pen's dead at that point. I've got replacements. I can sub in this one. And what I'm doing is just building up tones. Again, this one's also starting to die on me as well, so just keeping them as fresh as I can. That one I can call quits. Like I've got colleagues that swear by, you know, buying ink refills and, you know, keeping these things alive longer than they absolutely have to be. And I'm just like, look, they have a lifespan. I don't get attached to art supplies really in any way. Like if it still works, then I'll hang on to it. If not, I don't care too much. So I've been on a bit of a classical music kick. For the last couple of weeks. I think you just sort of reach a certain age where you start like introducing classical music into your playlists. I'm definitely at that point. I'm at that age where like I can really appreciate, you know, solid classical music. And the main reason for that is like I grew up watching a lot of cartoons. Like I learnt more about classical music from Ren and Stimpy and the Looney Tunes than I ever did in music class. watch this interesting documentary. Yeah, I mean, classical music, I absolutely like. I made sure I actually asked Grok to find all the classical music that was used in the old Ren and Stimpy show, and there is a lot in there. Like, there's a lot of Beethoven, there's a lot of uh, Bach, there's a lot of Mozart. There's also a lot of Grieg in there. And if you don't know who Grieg is, if you've ever heard the song that goes dun 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 dun, that's Grieg, and that song is called Hall of the Mountain King, or In the Hall of the Mountain King. And I personally can't stand that song because it's used in so many videos. And it's like, okay, we get it. It's a funny sounding bit of, classical music, but like it's so overused. And it's usually in videos that like can't really stand on their own merits in terms of like the quality. So like the video creator's like, oh, what song can we use that's like in the public domain that everyone kind of knows, that has that kind of vaguely cartoony sort of sound to it, and it's pretty much always Grieg's In the Hall of the Mountain King. And like that guy's done other stuff, like some really well-known stuff, but it's always Hall of the Mountain King. And I get it, because like, I mean, it's a dramatic, stingy piece of music, because it keeps getting faster and faster, and there's like a certain sense of urgency to it. Like, it makes you feel like you're being chased or something. But it's like you're being chased by like a cartoon monster. I mean, that's what I pick up. That's what I get from it myself. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, Moonlight Sonata is an absolutely beautiful piece of music, because it's really sad, but I mean, Beethoven and Mozart and Bach and even Richard Wagner, with Flight of the Valkyries, like all these songs are used pretty much with reckless abandon by different like cartoons and stuff. I think the only shows from that time that didn't really use them is like just the cheaper shows. Vivaldi, that is a, like, if you've heard the Four Seasons by Vivaldi, that is epic. Because these songs, like, they're kind of like the viral ringtones of their day. It's the Anzac Day long weekend. Hope everyone's in Australia and New Zealand and even in Tonga enjoyed their time off work. I mean, we've got Monday off as well. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm like every day is a work day for me. Like, I draw no real distinction between, you know, I might actually, yeah, this one's close to retirement. Just going to use it briefly as a blender. That's the cool thing about working exclusively in greys, because although the palette's extremely limited, it's quite forgiving, because you just switch to another grey. Because essentially what I'm doing here, I'm just shading as I normally would. Like, I normally would shade with a pencil, but when it comes to working in alcohol pen, I don't have to. So that one's dead. This one, I reckon it won't take me very long. Like, the coloring stage is usually the quickest. I don't spend a huge amount of time blocking stuff in. Especially with something like this, because a lot of the detail has largely taken up the background. So what I want to do here is I want to keep this video in particular to just a clean 1 hour long. So I still have to finish watching Invincible. I'm up to season 4, and I've kind of I've honestly forgotten about it. Like, there was a new episode that came out, and I made a note to myself. It's like, yeah, I'm going to watch it, and then I just kind of forgot about it. You ever find that, like, your appetite for television just kind of wanes a bit? I mean, it could just be just me, but like, I look at TV and movies a bit like, homework assignments. It's kind of what got me not really caring about superhero movies. Like, after a while, you just think, oh, look, there's not a lot that's actually here for me at this point. You ever find that, like, you're scrolling and you're trying to find something to watch? You think, look, I've got a spare like 10 minutes. Let's see if there's anything, worth having a look at here. And you find yourself like just thinking, wow, I've got literally all these options, and it's literally the same conundrum I remember when we got cable for the first time. We've just unlocked this endless sea of content, and I'm just completely overwhelmed and underwhelmed by choice. There's nothing here for me. I don't know how else to explain it, but like, I'm watching superhero movies these days. Like, who are these people and why should I care? You know what I mean? Meanwhile, I follow all these like, review, like, content creators that do like reviews of movies, and I'm just like, you guys are my age. Why are you getting so worked up about this? It's like, none of this matters, right? I can't be the only one that thinks none of this matters. They're like, doing full on Zoom call meetings, and they're ranting at each other. It's like, oh, this is what I would have done. And why do they do this? And that casting choice is, bizarre. And, why'd they make that? And I'm just thinking, guys, there's a TV show. Actually, there is some TV shows that interest me. Like, there's this one called Velocipastor, where he's like a Protestant priest or whatever who turns into a velociraptor. And I've been thinking about it ever since I saw it. Like, I want to find out what that show's about, because it just looks like such like perfect turn your brain off crap. But again, like, I'm fighting against my own like schedule and stuff to think, oh yeah, I'll watch that, and then I'm like going, dude, you're not gonna watch that. It's very much like the tug of war of good and evil and everything. You got like the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other, and the angel's like, yeah, you need to get back to work, dude. And like, the devil's like, yeah, TV can wait. I'm like, you know what? You guys are both right. Oh, look, the first couple of seasons of Invincible, fantastic. Absolutely loved every minute of it. I thought, like, the story arcs, the the whole sort of idea of the Superman trope, and the fact that, like, um, evil superheroes, like morally gray, like he turned out to be a bad guy the whole time. I do like that, but for some reason, season four just feels like, I don't know. Like, for some reason, I don't know what it is, but I find bad guy redemption arcs annoying. It's like, I get it. He wants to make amends. He's sorry for what he did. If you haven't seen the show, I'm not going to spoil it, but if you have, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm just like, look, I remember like watching Endgame after Infinity War, and I loved Infinity War because, like, just seeing what would happen when the bad guy actually won and it left it on a cliffhanger, that is some fantastic, absolutely brilliant writing, directing, everything. Like, that was chef's kiss. When they confront Thanos and he's just quite literally a guy with a hobby farm, and I'm like, ah, that seemed anticlimactic and weird, and you know it's like, oh, the good guys always win. It's like, I kind of don't want the good guys to win for a change. Like, I like the fact that, all these characters just got decimated in the previous movie, and I want them to stay that way. Like, there's a certain level of, like, weird Schadenfreude relief that I got when, like, all these characters that I didn't particularly care for, like, you know, the movies that they were in leading up to that, where they introduce each character and everything. I thought most of them were okay, but like they haven't aged particularly well. Like that first Thor movie, I don't know what they were thinking, but like far out. Like, look, like if you haven't watched it in a while, I suggest, like, seriously watch it again. And oh my god, I haven't seen the episode where they introduce where they have General Thrag, or is it Thrag in it? I haven't seen that one yet. But also, like, a lot, and I can't be the only one who's seen this, a lot of Invincible feels very similar to Justice League and Dragon Ball Z. Like, there's differences, and obviously it's its own thing, but you know too many redemption arcs, too many bad guys that end up being good guys or anti-heroes. Like, I've just never been a fan even of the idea of the anti-hero. It's a bit like the double agent spy or whatever. It's like, oh, okay. He started out as a bad guy, but now he's a good guy. And so it's like, then who's the actual bad guy? Like you're running out of opponents because everybody starts becoming like an impromptu ally. No, I actually didn't mean to do that. You can kind of use these a bit like a paintbrush. And like I remember watching, Dragon Ball Z when it first like came to Cartoon Network in Australia. And I love that show. Like it was great, but my God, it got repetitive. Because eventually you do just start noticing patterns. Oh, give me a minute, guys. I'm just got to check up on something. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, when I first started watching DBZ, I was like, yes. But after a while, you just realize that most of the episodes are just padded to like, keep the runtime going longer. And most of it, like a fair amount, would be just like minor characters that haven't been relevant since like the beginning of the series, like standing around and loudly exclaiming that something's impossible. And like I get it, like it makes it seem more dramatic when you have that kind of audience insert first person view of what it's like, watching this fireworks display of sonic booms and electricity and fighting moves that are like going so fast that really no one can tell what's going on. But after a while you just think, okay, well they've been, doing the same like half a dozen different looping fight animations for 2 weeks now. While all these irrelevant subplots have been happening. And after like, the earth itself has been utterly demolished, and like every man, woman, and child has either been, wiped out or, teleported away or whatever, like inevitably they'll summon the dragon with the dragon balls because, he doesn't know where his balls are. and they wish them back into existence. So like that's kind of how the stage is set for that show, and it's fine, you know. Like I got no problem with it, but when that particular like storyline, how it all plays out with, you know, more than half a dozen, you know, legendary characters from beyond the stars that, you know, have to figure out some kind of legitimate excuse to come to Earth. And some of them make sense, but most of them are just stupid. I mean, as a kid, like, you know, I just thought it was all gravy. No notes, please proceed. And then they came out with that live action movie. Like, wow, what was that about? Like, they got the guy who played Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and they made him Piccolo, but they didn't give him like the iconic sort of green man antenna. They just sort of made him kind of vaguely weird looking. Like they made him a scroll basically, but nowhere near as endearing. And yeah, I mean, I never actually sat through the movie because I heard it was pretty horrible, and you know, I've got better things to do. But you know, just a normal guy with spiky hair does not a Goku make. No. This is definitely not AI. I mean, I appreciate the compliment. That's an interesting observation. Like, um, someone like, you know, telling you that your artwork is so cool that it could have been made by like, you know, Grok or Claude or ChatGPT is actually like kind of a boost to the old morale. Like, I honestly don't mind AI. I think it's really cool. I mean, I don't really use it to make art. Like, I prefer to, you know, just draw stuff myself. Um, but man, like, sort of having the skill set that I have, um, you know, if I draw something really, really like it'll take me, you know, it'll take me about an hour or so to draw something that'll take, you know, any one of these programs a couple of seconds. And I get that, like, you know, these programs can also sort of mimic the process of, you know, drawing as well. Like they can throw up a video of a fake person doing pretty much this, but no, I'm as real as they come. And I love what I do. I try to go live as often as I can. I've kind of been trying to catch up on, you know, content creation. Like, you ever do that? Like, you sort of have this sort of schedule in your head of like how much stuff you want to put out there, and you go, yeah, I'm gonna find the time. I'm gonna dedicate like, you know, X amount of hours during the day to, you know, really inspire myself, and then you just forget about it and have a nap, and then you wake up in the middle of the afternoon and realize half the day is gone, and you just think, ugh. Better not let that one fall by the wayside. And I've been kind of like that. Like, I've been recently really inspired just to, you know, get the channel to that next level. I've had this channel for far out. How long have I had it? I think since 2011 or something crazy like that. And I've only recently started taking sort of YouTube content creation seriously, and even TikTok as well. Like, you know, I like the idea of being able to just sort of share what I do and express what I can. So yeah, this one's wrapping up pretty soon. I want to keep it to just like strictly just an hour. Not much longer than that. Yeah, it's definitely been fun. It's also a chance to get away from screens as well. Like, I've been experiencing increasingly digital eye strain. You ever get that where, you know, just your eyes, the blood vessels in your eyes just start to, you know, just streak, and you just think, I've been staring at the screen too long. I need to go outside and be exposed to sunlight and all that. Like, I've definitely been having that kind of feeling. Like, that's just sort of not so much a pressure, just a pain. Just like, look, I know exactly what's causing this. Let me see how much is still in there. So what happens is the isopropyl disrupts the pigment chemicals in the ink, and it causes them to disperse and fade just a tiny bit, but not completely, because a lot of the ink is actually bled itself into the fibers of the paper. Yeah, that one's dead. That one can go away. No. Sometimes I just put on like sort of royalty-free synthesizer music when I do the digital art streaming, and I'm thinking of going back to doing that because I don't think I don't think the classical music really suits that particular style of stream. Like it's too old-fashioned, and yeah, just kind of I think it distracts from what I'm doing. So I'm not sure if I'll even continue like having music playing in the background because it just seems to be too much of a hassle trying to set that up along with everything else. Alrighty. Put in a little bit of white. So to add some speed lines in there, some highlights. I like to paint on just a tiny bit. Like the white doesn't really show up a huge amount. But you definitely notice it under certain lighting conditions. This is a paint marker. It helps with the motion. Like this goes like that, and that goes like that. This one's not quite done yet. And it's usually not in the tip that you want to dry out first. Cool beans. All right. Yeah, yeah, no worries. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely thank you for hanging out, guys. I do appreciate it. Okay, we'll hang on to that one. Yeah, so I will be posting updates to my stories and whatnot, like community posts and everything. Try to keep everyone as informed as I can. So yeah, from now on, I think I'll just do away with music entirely and just keep talking the entire time. I'll try to keep it interesting with various topics. Obviously, feel free to chime in if anything catches your fancy or any topics that you'd like to discuss. I'm not entirely sure what the parameters are going to be, but just try to keep it relatively, chill or whatever. I don't really tackle the heavy topics anyway. I find them tedious. Oh, we're nearly at the 1 hour mark. Would like to extend a warm welcome to anyone who's only just joining the stream. And just want to give you guys a heads up. I will be finishing in about 5 minutes. Nothing personal, it's just that I've I've actually pretty much finished this one. So I try not to spend any more time on producing these than I absolutely have to. But if you'd like to watch the VOD, it'll be available. I think the links are in the description, but if they're not, I will make sure that they are there. And the rising Z's are from a sleeping dog that is apparently out of frame. So this is one of the more interesting briefs that I've had, and at the same time one of the more bare bones. So I've got fan art stuff coming up. I got more celebrity caricatures. I'm taking suggestions for Sketch Jam as well. It's all happening in April and May. Because as we are heading into winter, I plan to be doing more inside chucking some bushes. Yeah, so that's the plan. Like pretty much this time every year, you know, as it starts to cool down, although the weather has remained very summery. Like we here in Sydney have experienced as close to an endless summer as we have in years. Like, I mean, we're sort of using our heaters, but not really. Like, I've had no reason to like have anything other than a hot shower. But anyway, once again, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I will see ya when I see ya. See ya.